Hello and welcome to Success Stories. Success Stories is that show where we talk to students of Ekcel Academy on how they cleared CS exams. And joining me today is Mamta Choudhary from Hyderabad. Hello Mamta, welcome.
Hello, sir.
So we're very happy that you are joining us for the success story. So first of all, congratulations on your results.
Thank you so much, sir.
So can you please share with our friends what you have passed and what is the kind of results you have got?
Okay, this year, this June, I finished my module 2. I got 209, and last year, June, I finished my module 1. I got 211 there. I finished my executive. I'm going to start my professional in the coming June.
Very good. So this is really great to know that you have cleared the executive program and now you're in professional program. We are very happy. So this will give a lot of inspiration for everybody who is watching this, especially all the married women out there who say that we don't have time, we have so many challenges. So we'll learn from Mamata about that. But before that, let us get a brief idea about your background, like your education.
Okay. I finished my degree 3 years ago, like a year before the lockdown, COVID, and everything that happened. So 1 year I was completely depressed when COVID hit me. I'm like, I can't do anything. I'm so stressed. This is the mental state was really weird. So I needed to find something to study because I could not concentrate. I had so much anxiety. So I needed something to study, and I came across this memory of mine where my accounting teacher in 11th, she looked at me and she told me, Mamta, you can do CS. I did not even know what CS was. I had no idea. But she told me on my face, Mamta, you can do CS. Don't do CA, do CS. You're smart. You can do that. So I remembered that, and I started looking up what is CS. I should do something. Like I should give it a try. I'm not doing a job. I should give it a try. So the first lockdown, I gave my CSET. I mean that November, I gave my CSET. I passed. I was so stressed. I passed, and then I got to know that my parents want me to get married to a guy. They found the guy, and I have to get married. It's a coming summer. And that June, I had already applied for my executive module 1. So stressful. I did not do any shopping. I did not go on any shopping. I did not have that time because I had to watch your classes. And I remember one line you told me, you were telling the class that it is important that you give at least 10 hours to your studying. Like that line still is in my head. When I'm ever studying, it is in my head. 10 hours a day for your studies, which is right, which you need to give. 10 hours are necessary for your career. It's your future. So 10 hours, I had no time for my shopping or whatever wedding jitters I was having. I did all of that in the back of my head, and I was just studying. I let my family handle everything, which is great. I feel like when you're studying, when you're doing something this hard, you need the support of your family. If you have a family that is ready to do whatever you want to do, it that is supporting you, that is willing to take the front wheel when you want to take the back seat and do something else, that is really important. So I got married, and then the next month, June, I had my exams, but then it had to be postponed because of the lockdown and everything. It was in August. I was so blessed. I was so lucky. Thank God, because just got married in May, and I don't have time to finish my June exam. I was so stressed. And then I wrote my exam in August. Again, I was stressed. I felt sick for 10 days. I did not eat anything. I was vomiting because I have that exam nervousness. I've always had this, so I knew what was coming, just vomiting and everything. But whatever, I gave my exams. The toughest paper for me, the toughest part of my entire studies is numbers. I hate numbers. I just cannot calculate whatsoever. It just does not sit right with me. But the words, I can remember the words so easily. Words are like, they were made for me. But numbers, I feel like numbers are my enemy. I just cannot deal with numbers. The words, I can remember whatever you tell me. I can read, I can remember. It is so easy. It just comes naturally to me. Numbers, I just can't. So tax law was really hard for me. I cried when I was writing that paper, when I was preparing. One whole day I could not deal with it. And then I wrote my exam, and I thought ki maybe I won't pass, I'll be a failure. And I hadn't failed ever. So again, another fear that everybody feels that you cannot fail, you cannot fail. But I feel like if you go through the failure, you will know that what you have to be prepared for when you're doing it the next time. I got my results and I passed. I cried again. I cry a lot. I cried again. And I was so blessed. And even when I was studying, right after I got married, my in-laws, they were so great. They were ready to do all of the housework, take my load of share so that I could sit and study. They made sure that I was studying. They made sure that nobody disturbed me. Even though we have a kid in the house, and even he knew that he cannot disturb me because I'm studying something that is so hard for him. What I'm studying is I'm becoming a scientist. It is that hard for him. He's like, no, she's studying science. No, she's becoming a scientist. I cannot disturb her. So even he knew, everybody knew, and they were ready to help me. And then I passed, and then I registered for my module two. I did not write the December attempt. I don't know why I'm not writing the December attempts, but I finished my first attempt. I got passed in my first attempt for module one. The same happened for module two. It was a great experience. I just remember those your 10-hour lines that you need 10 hours for your career. You just need 10 hours. You cannot skip on that. You need to study for 10 hours. When you study, you need to study in such a way that you're not skipping any line in your textbook. You need to understand all of those single lines. Those lines should click in your head. Yeah, I understand this line, and I know if somebody asks me what this line means, you should know what this line actually means. So yeah,
Good.
I studied
Good.
because your course was so easy. You
Nice, nice.
made it so easy.
Sorry?
You made the studying so easy. Your classes explained each and every line from the textbook. You
Mm.
made sure that every one of your students was marking right in the textbook what is necessary, what is an example. It was really nice.
No, sure. I mean, as a teacher, we can do it, but as a student, you should work hard. And I mean, we always say that as a teacher, we may do, but without the hard work of student, it's not possible. Because teacher does same thing for all students, but all
Yeah.
students don't study with the same enthusiasm. You were talking 2, 3 times about 10 hours, and so can you tell us a little bit about your timetable or how was your regular day during your studies?
Okay. So I wake up at 4:30 because my husband and my brother-in-law they go to the gym. So when they are awake, me and my sister-in-law we are awake. We get up at 4:30, and because we know I have to study, we finish our work, making breakfast, cleaning the house and everything. We finish it by 7, max 7. And then I come back into my room and I start studying. And that time nobody disturbs me. Everybody knows she's studying. So nobody's going to knock on my door. Nobody's going to ask me anything. So they let me alone by 7 I'm free, and from 7 to 10:30 I concentrate on just looking at the videos. 7 to 10:30 is my time for looking at videos and jotting down my notes. And then 10:30 I get up and prepare the lunch. Somebody will come and pick up their lunch at 12. So I prepare their lunch from 10:30 to 11:30, and then I clean the kitchen and come inside and start studying again. From 11 o'clock to 5 o'clock. Yeah, it is 5 o'clock. From 11 to 5 o'clock, I try to do more videos. If I can do more videos, fine. If I can't, I'll take down my textbook without any disturbance. I will read each and every line. And like I told, like reading each and every line and making sure that every line clicks in your head that you've understood the line. That is really important to me. So from 11 to 5 was my textbook time. Textbook was my religious text that whenever I'm studying. So I always textbook is above everybody. I always read my textbook. It takes the longest time, but it is fruit bearing. I do it till 5, and then from 5 to 6 or 6:30, I prepare breakfast. Sorry, dinner. Our family has dinner at 7:30 because they come at 7:30. We are done with dinner and everything by 8:30. So after 8:30, I come inside my room again, and 8:30 and 10:30 is the time when I watch the video again, so that tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon, when I'm doing my textbook reading time, I can have extra time, extra things to study. I just don't waste my 4 or 5 hours just reading textbook without the faculty previously teaching me what it is. So yeah, it is just like that. I finish my studies by 10, and if I feel I haven't finished my 10 hours schedule or 9 or 8 hours schedule, then I drag it till 12. When I'm a night owl, I can drag it till 12. Students need to be prepared that you'll have to have long nights. You cannot expect you get up at 8 and sleep by 9. You'll have to get up by 4:30. You will have to sleep by 12 or 1 if you want to put efforts into your career, if you want to have a fruitful career.
Wonderful, wonderful. Can you tell us a little bit about the support you received with your in-laws, brother-in-law, sister-in-law, husband? Can you tell a little?
Yeah, I had a sit down with my husband right before the wedding. I told him, are you sure you want to get married to me? Because I'm career driven. Career is the most important to me. I need to be financially independent. Career is important, but financial independence is top priority. I need it. This life goal won't change. So financial independence is a right that will never change, no matter what my dreams and my future aspects change into whatever they change. My financial independence is not going to change. I have a certain level of standard of living. And since there is, from my parents to my in-laws, there are certain changes, and I feel like I need my financial independence so that nobody can tell me how much spending I want to do. So I asked him, do you really want to get married to me? Do you look at me and you see she can become your wife? Do you see a wife in me? He told me, sure, Mamta, you can do whatever you want, earn how much ever you want. Even if you're earning just measly 30,000 a month, even that is fine. Do whatever you want. It's not like you have to, you know, do a lot of housework. You can do whatever you want in your spare time. It's nothing, it's not a deal. My parents have no issues with it. My family has no issues with it. And I took it with a grain of salt. I was not sure. Ki, should I have asked my mother-in-law first? Should I have asked my father-in-law first? But I trusted his words, and I was like, okay, fine. If he's telling, then I should trust him. And I went with the wedding. And even during the wedding, during my Sangeet, the morning of my Sangeet, when I was having all those wedding jitters, I was so worried that I hadn't finished my videos. I wasn't on my schedule. I was already tense about the wedding, and I was so tense that I haven't finished my schedule. How am I going to write my June exam? So even then, my family came in and they made sure that I had nothing to stress about. Nothing. They even had me just stand and look at my book so that they can get me dressed, put just little clothes on me so that somebody else can do my makeup and hair and everything. So even that was fine with it. And they even took my mental breakdowns when I was having those ultimate bridal meltdowns that my wedding is not going right. My studies are not going right. I don't know what I'm going to achieve with my future. That time my family came, my parents came in really hard. They helped me a lot. My sisters, my brothers, damn, I don't even remember seeing my brother's face because they were always just working, making sure that everything was right. And my sisters just making sure that they feel, they know okay, whatever I'm studying is in my head. So they just used to tell, Mamta, you're studying so much, you want to become like, they used to just make me feel so good about it that I'm studying and working hard, and it is not something that no girl should do. The wedding happened, and when I came right back into my in-laws' place, we got married in Rajasthan. Then my husband made sure that I came back to Hyderabad to my place, my parents' place, so that I can study. So we did not have a flight ticket because of the lockdown and everything. He made sure to book it. How no does not matter how expensive it is or whatever it is, or if we are not even able to find a way out of Rajasthan, he made sure we find a ticket. Uh, right after 4 days of my wedding, me and my husband left. My mother-in-law and father-in-law lived there, so we just left because my studies were priority to him. We left and we came here, and he dropped me at my parents' place so I can studies are a priority, not the house. He made sure I was studying, and then when it was time to actually come here to my in-laws place for those customs and new brides customs and everything, even then my sister-in-law made sure that customs were done on time so that I can come inside my room, take down notes, watch my videos. So they were so sweet. I just loved this experience that they were supporting me so much. Even right now, when we are doing this video, she's making sure that she's not making any sound so she can prepare lunch, but she's not making any sound. She does not disturb me at all.
Wow, this is really very exciting. Even just to listen to this and the support which you're getting definitely will play a part. One is your hard work, obviously the teaching and teachers, but more importantly, I feel the family. Once the family support is there, everything else becomes easy. It's great that you had this. Now let us talk a little bit about back to the subjects. Now that you had great family support,
Yes.
tell us about these numbers. You said numbers were challenging. So how did you tackle something like taxation or something like CMA, financial management? These are the numbers related subjects. How did
Yeah.
you tackle?
So I come from a CBSE background, and when I was writing my 10th board exams, this was always a saying that your textbook is your answer key. Your answer key comes only from your textbook, no other reference book. So if you've mugged up your textbook, you know what is going to come. Even if there are numerical questions in your textbook, questions are just going to be similar to those. So I've been developed into this persona of it. So I always study around this, that textbook is the answer key. Your answer key is going to be made from your textbook. So when I had difficult subjects like taxation, CMA, I made sure that I did all all of the numerical sums in our textbook, all of it. I gave the reference books a backseat so that my textbook and my numericals from my textbook were always in my head, that I knew what was happening in those numbers. It's not like numbers are really tough for me, but I just don't like putting efforts in the numbers. I like the words behind it. So I made sure that I found a way so that I understand those numerical sums, and then I can find out the answers through it, because our numerical papers are in MCQ forms. So it was easier that way. Even if my answers were wrong, I could see uh, how it can work out and everything. It was tough, but it was fine. It went fine.
Good. I think I really like that line. We should tell it to all our students. That is, textbook is your answer key. End of the
Yeah.
day, ICSI is the institution which will set the question paper, not Excel Academy or
Not
any other
yeah,
academy.
not your
So
reference book.
students should
I
realize.
I always see students at our centers. I always see them with their reference books only. I've seen, like, if I've seen 100 students, then I've seen only 5 students with a textbook when they're preparing. And I feel it's not, I'm not questioning anybody's studying methods. Their method is their method. If they're passing, good for them. Even if they're failing, good for them. It is their way. Then I feel whenever somebody is sitting down and making a question paper, they are going to make a question paper out of your textbook, not from any reference book. So if you're memorized with everything that is in your textbook, if you know everything in the textbook, then there is nothing that can come out of syllabus. Even if it comes out of syllabus, you will know what it means.
Exactly. I think you have done it. You have told it the best amongst all the success story interviews. For the question relating to textbook, I think you have answered it very well. For students who are watching this, you can't look for shortcuts because end of the day, CS is a professional course, and tomorrow you'll be a professional and you're dealing with real companies, real directors. So you can't
Yes.
just pass exam by something and not have the in-depth knowledge. So tell us a little bit, Mamta, about your theory subject. Since it was strong for you, still you have to study, still you have to
Yes.
do well. So what was your strategy for the theory subjects? Did you write and practice? Did you just stick to textbook, or like overall, can you give 4 or 5 points which you did?
Okay. See, theory was naturally easy for me, but because I love reading theory so much, I put in a lot of efforts when I'm doing theory. So, like, you always write your notes right beside the text. I always do that. Wherever you're giving me an examples are actually very, very, very necessary for me. If I do not have an example, if I do not understand a text, I need an example to understand it. So whenever you write those examples right beside the text. I made sure that I jot down those examples, and whenever there are some points that are really hard for me to understand, I memorize one word. You even given those the abbreviation techniques where you put jot down notes and then take the abbreviations so that you can remember those abbreviations. I even made sure that the tougher ones which I cannot understand, I use the abbreviation technique. Then the most important technique that comes in hand to me is the mind mapping technique, wherein I take down one topic and put in 5 arrows around that topic, and then write whatever I know about that topic. Just one single word. Write one word about that topic, and one word should explain me what that explaining point is. So if I
Mhm.
do it that way, at least I know 5 solid points for that one topic. And after I finished one chapter, uh, I what I do is I do write down all the topics and without writing anything else, I just think in my head that I have this one topic. Have I remembered all the topics related, subtopics related to this one head topic? If I've done all of that, yes, okay, this topic has been checked. Like that, I finished one chapter. I take all of the head topics, all of the subtopics and everything. And then after I finished all of, I don't memorize the sections during the chapter. I memorize it after I finished one chapter because sections are important. They're really important. I don't want anybody to be missing out on this. They're really important. If I've memorized the text, the subtopics and the topics, then after I finish the chapter, I write down all of these sections that I can write down. I can memorize like at least 10 from each chapter. That is minimum. I'm not telling that 10 is maximum, 10 is fine. 10 is minimum. You need at least 10 sections from one chapter. So I write down 10 sections that I know are important, are key. 10 sections and at least three or five case studies, just the case names. And then I at least take a week or 4 days. 4 days is necessary because it takes a lot of time to just memorize to understand what it is. Just for the sections. Sections are really important. I do not like skipping my time on sections. Even right before my exam, the first priority that I have is the sections. Because when I've finished my sections, when I've completed my sections and I've memorized it all, I know ki I have finished half of the reading part of it. I finished half of my exam.
Okay, great. I mean, this is very detailed. Whatever you're telling, this will be of very high value for students who are watching this. You have told in great detail, both for theory subjects and practical subjects. Now, I have a few questions where you can answer in a word or two, just to
Okay.
make it interesting.
Okay.
What was your favorite time to study?
Night time when there is no sound.
Yeah, nobody's there to disturb at that time.
Yeah.
Okay. What was your most loved subject in your entire executive?
Jurisprudence.
Very, very rare. Hardly anybody says that. It's great that you like jurisprudence. Okay. Who was your biggest support? You have, if you have to name just one person.
Okay. My father. My father.
Okay. Of course, your entire family has supported
Yeah.
you, and we want to appreciate each one of them. But just to make it interesting, I just asked who is that one person. Great. Then, did you write notes?
Yeah, I wrote notes. I have like 4 books for each subject. Every module has 4 books. So 4 books for each subject, and I made sure that I finished those books. Like
Great.
writing and filling in notes.
Okay. What was your biggest fear with respect to marriage and the studies and all?
Failure that I'll fail for the first time in my life. And what will people think that she was smart? She got 90s and everything in college and in 10th and 12th, and she dumb why isn't she able to pass? That was the biggest fear.
Okay, great. So now that we have done that, we want to know a little bit about your association with Excel Academy. How did you first get to know about Excel? Then how was your coaching? How was the mentorship? Can you share your experience?
Okay, when I first came to Excel Academy was during my wedding. So what I liked was your ideas and my ideas about reading each and every line and making notes was so similar. So I liked that. So I knew I have to stick to this academy because this is how my studies and their studies align. That time was at first. I made sure that my module 2 was with you, and I made sure that I was watching all of your live classes. And for professional course too, I'm looking to join you guys again.
What are your suggestions for students? Because everyone says that CS is difficult or they blame everybody except themselves. So, what do you think are three, four things which students have to do as a basic discipline to pass these exams?
Like you said, students are blaming themselves and students aren't blaming themselves and are blaming everybody else around them. Studies is not something okay. If you're studying and putting efforts, 80% is from you, 10%, measly 10% is from your faculty, from your teachers, and 10% is your family. But if you're not putting your 80% to your 100%, if you're not putting in the 100% efforts to provide to at least that 80% of your input, then you cannot expect that everybody else is putting in their 10%. Why should everybody else put in their efforts when you are not ready to put in your 100%? You should be the one. that is blamed for everything that is happening with your studies. Everybody has tough times. Everybody has a very, very uh, tough and mental space where they cannot do anything, but they still pull through it. And it's all on them. I cannot blame anybody for me having a failure. It's not on them, it's on me. And again, what I want to tell everybody else is like how I told that whenever I visited my centers for my exams, I saw students with their reference books, with their teachers' guides and everything. That I really want people to change that. Your answer key is not from your reference book, it is from your textbook. Whenever somebody is writing down your question, making your question paper, nobody is looking at a reference book. Everybody is seeing the textbook because they know that everybody has a textbook. That this is your ICSI textbook. You cannot find a supplement for that.
True, very good. I think that's the main point which in this whole interview I really like. There is no substitute to ICSI study material because end of the day, the simple logic is that we don't set the question paper. ICSI sets it. So better study from the book which they have given you. And they've sent it to you all the way from Delhi. So you better study that book. Okay, great. So
Yeah,
coming to the end of this interview, tell us like how is your confidence for professional? How are you looking ahead?
I'm really confident. I finished both my modules in my first attempt. So I'm cloud nine. I'm pretty sure I can do that. And with your studies, I'm not worried at all. With your study plans, the way how you all of your teachers teach, I'm not worried at all. Yeah, I feel I can finish my professional. I can do everything. I can become a very, very good CS. I can do whatever I want. I can achieve my goals.
Wonderful. We like that confidence. And even I can see that you'll be a great company secretary. The first thing is the confidence. Everything else comes later. Of course, you need knowledge, you need expert knowledge. End of the day, professional means expert knowledge. Whether you're a doctor, chartered accountant, architect, company secretary, you will gain that. But confidence is what I really like in the way you spoke. We will look forward to meet you again in success
Yeah.
stories after CS professional. We'll keep that as a promise.
Yes.
Sure, great, Mamta. So thanks a lot for joining us. If there's anything else, one or two last things you want to share or you want to thank someone, this is your time.
It'll feel like it'll feel very cheesy when I say this that Excel Academy is really nice. It is the best. But then with my study plan, I feel it's the best. Please, whenever Alok sir says that you need 10 hours for your career, it is not a bad bet. It is your future. You can put 10 hours a day towards that. And this again the textbook thing. Textbook is your holy script. Please do not sit idle on a textbook and then read a reference book because it is a waste of time. Please first finish your religious script and then go on a reference book. Just that much. And all the teachers at Excel Academy, everybody had this thing of loving the textbook, and I loved that part of it. They were all concentrated around the textbook. It was really nice. It was a really good experience.
Wonderful. And from our side, we would like to thank your entire family, whether it's your parents, in-laws, husband, brother-in-law, sister-in-law, because this is the kind of support not many women are getting. We get a lot of comments, we get a lot of calls, WhatsApp, especially from married girls and women, or sometimes when women have kids, they find that they don't have complete family support, or even if they have, they're not able to make time. So whatever you shared, I really liked the entire timetable you did. You never said no to the commitments at home. At the same time, you concentrated on studies. It is not easy for every girl or woman out there who's watching this. You may be married or you may still be a student, no matter what. If you plan properly, I think Mamta is a great example. With right planning, with the right approach to studies, you can stay married, you can have a good family commitment, and at the same time, you can study well. So, this is something which I want everyone who's watching this to take a leaf out. And any suggestions, you can let us know in the comments. And please do share this story. Mamta's story is something which every girl, of course, boys have to watch it, but every girl has to definitely watch it and get inspired. You can subscribe to this channel. You can like this video so that more people can watch. And if you liked whatever she shared, let us know in the comments what you felt about it. So once again, thank you very much, Mamta, for joining us. We wish you the very best for professional. And we'll meet again, of course, in class, but in CS success stories after professional.
Yes, sir.
Sure. Thank you very much. And please do watch the other episodes of Success Stories. I will see you in the next episode. All the best for your CS exams.